So right here I have a map of the Bay Area, and this is where the main part of Silicon Valley is. So a lot of people actually mistaken Silicon Valley to be San Francisco area, which technically it is closest San Francisco, but it's about 30 miles south of San Francisco. So the main part of it is in Santa Clara County and parts of San Mateo County. So Santa Clara County actually starts in San Jose and goes to Palo Alto. And San Mateo, the part of San Mateo County that Silicon Valley has, goes from Menlo Park to around San Mateo area. And mainly it ends at Redwood City. But that's where the Bay Area is. So if you actually enter Silicon Valley on Google Maps, it takes you closer into that San Jose. Most of Silicon Valley is just the suburbs of Santa Clara County and that part of San Mateo County. The one city that there is San Jose, and it is considered to be a world city because there are a lot of visitors and there are residents who live there. And just a bonus to it, the population is over 1 million, so it's a giant city. But most people don't kind of undermine it when they think of Silicon Valley, even though it is more a part of Silicon Valley than San Francisco is. San Francisco and the other parts of the Bay, like Berkeley and Oakland, which are across the bridges, are more of an extension to the Bay Area because it's so compact in that area and those around 30 miles that they needed to extend it to accommodate for more businesses and residential areas. So if you look on Google Maps, the first 360 view that they have takes you to Stanford University. And Stanford plays a large role in Silicon Valley because it's the university that creates the successful, talented, skilled, educated people that go into Silicon Valley and start their own startups, work for big companies. And I think Silicon Valley functions as its own central business district of Northern California. There isn't really a distinct downtown place besides the financial district in San Francisco, which once I said it's kind of an extension of the Silicon Valley. And it functions as a CBD for also just Northern California as a whole, and I would even say for a large portion of the United States, especially the West Coast. Silicon Valley has a huge issue with urban sprawl, which is why San Francisco and other parts of the Bay are considered to be an extension of Silicon Valley. It has become so successful that there is not enough room to accommodate for everyone wanting to live and work in the region, and this has caused gentrification in such a way that there are very few bargain stores such as Walmart, Ross, and a regular grocery store has been replaced by places like Whole Foods. And other parts of the Bay, such as Oakland or Vallejo, that used to be filled with people of poverty, have now become luxury areas to live in. And unfortunately, this kicks out a community that can no longer afford to live there from the urban sprawl. Also, in Matthew Desmond's Unstable Housing video, he states that 30% of family income should be saved to pay for housing, which has become very difficult to do in a place like Silicon Valley. For example, a 2,000 square foot home in Palo Alto is usually at least $10,000 a month to rent, and if you're not really familiar with real estate and everything, to put that into perspective, if you make $15,000 a month or $180,000 a year, you're spending 66% of your income on housing if you're living in Silicon Valley. And this is just an example, and it leaves only a third left for everything else, including education, clothing, and food. And Silicon Valley has become the most expensive place to live in the US for many reasons, but its main reason is its location. And Armani makes reference to this concept in the book, The Global Edge in Miami in the 21st Century, and this concept is called property capital. The idea that regardless of how nice a house or how pretty the view is or what have you, this may not matter at all if the area is not desirable for business or education. And a small home in Palo Alto may not have a scenic view or beachfront view, but it will have great proximity to places like Apple, Google, or Facebook. And from Glazer's Triumph of the City, he mentions that Santa Clara County economy makes little room for the poor, less skilled people, even after the housing bust. The median pricing for housing in the San Jose metropolitan area remains over $550,000, making it very hard for someone who isn't a successful computer person to buy a home. And it's funny that Glazer mentioned this because San Jose is actually the cheapest area in Silicon Valley. And it's because it's not a place necessarily for families to buy a home. It's for like single bedroom apartments to commute to their job. And if you have a family, you wouldn't live in San Jose most of the time. You would live in a suburb in the valley such as Menlo Park, Los Altos, Mountain View, or Palo Alto. which these suburbs are around $3 million for a median household price. And if you go to somewhere like Atherton, which is the most expensive suburb in Silicon Valley, and I believe the United States, the median housing price is $6.4 million, which almost sounds unreal, but it is the true product of urban sprawl and gentrification. And although Silicon Valley is not considered a world city or a city at all, it has the same definition as every other one, which is what Massey stated in their book, World City. Silicon Valley attracts the rich and those wanting to be rich from around the planet. It functions as a place for constant success, and it is why it continues to flourish so well.